The probability of death is 100%. The probability of lifelong regret is 80%. The probability of two people meeting is 0.0478%. But you know what? The probability of our being in this universe? Probably not even 1/100 million. So before the video starts, and I want to ask you a question about these probabilities. Do you think the universe we live in was born under natural conditions? Or this is a game carefully arranged by the Creator for you? The experiences vary. I haven't talked to you about the universe in a long time, so I hope you will be patient and watch this video. Because for you and me, this journey of life is not taken for granted. But under one miracle after another, we are here. For Darwin, I'm sure everyone is familiar with him. Therefore, he is also responsible for the origin of all living things on Earth. Evolutionary description with uniformity, so much so that in the 18th century, under the birth of this theory, humans are also facing unprecedented knowledge revolution. However, it seems that traditional religions and creationism, the opposite theory of evolution, celebrity Darwin. In fact, his inner heart, he's a proper theist. Only, in his understanding of the world beyond Earth, the Creator does not exist in human form, because he is convinced that people are perfect. The probability of death is also 100%. And the same, the ceiling-level scientific God Newton, for his research on the motion of celestial bodies in the universe, the invented law of universal gravitation. But in the end, these things, who gives them attractive forces, and under the common attractive force of all things, and why can it form such a perfect universe, including the Earth that gave birth to life, he and other planets in the solar system? And how can the right benefits under the attractive force? What about peaceful coexistence? Therefore, in his scientific contributions to humanity, he ended up taking the credit to God's masterpiece. And then, as Einstein came close to publishing Perfect Generalized Township, yes, before he died. There are also classic quotes about the Creator. Without religious belief, he's convinced, in the world of the Creator, you don't have to make a choice about anything. But the Creator, it is not the same as the God described by the human mouth, because God is human in religion. For their own weaknesses, a spiritual concept expressed. So at the end of Einstein's scientific universe, I am equally convinced of the existence of a Creator. The only difference is that the Creator he identifies with, it's not human. The God depicted in religious beliefs. And consider the holy. The stories in the scriptures have many fictional contents, so much so that he never worshipped a God adding personal touch, and emphasize that he does not want to turn his house into a holy empire. The museum, therefore, we humans as early as 2009, and for that, I won the Nobel Prize. The prize scientists launched an investigation. The results show that, at the moment these get the top honorary scientist inside, they have 51%. They are all convinced that God or a Creator exists. The names God and Creator, only, it just depends on whether they have religious beliefs or not. That is to say, unlike the theory of evolution, they both belong to the same concept. And you're probably going to be frustrated by that, because in this proportion, these scientists who study science, why? What about the absence of a concept that science cannot explain? Because in our common understanding of science, it shouldn't be rigorous, corner results and specific authenticity. But whether it is God or the Creator, these do not belong to the category of science. Content. How could it be on the list of these Nobel laureates? More than half of the proportion. However, it turns out that the reason for all this, all because of this amazing universe, because for the universe itself, including us, all from countless miracles, a whole formed by union. So let's start with the first miracle of the universe. The Big Bang begins. In the beginning of the universe, since the matter in the starting point is constantly exploring, In the case of formed the Big Bang, and the Big Bang eventually formed, it's all because of fusion. Therefore, the hydrogen inside is converted into helium, and in this starting point, the relative amount of hydrogen becomes the universe and one of the birthdays of our species. Because if once the light amount is slightly larger by 4%, in that case, the speed of the Big Bang caused by nuclear fusion, due to the excessive amount of hard hydrogen, resulting in an instant being consumed. So if that's the case, all the stars in the universe, they lose the raw materials to burn. Simple understanding is equivalent to, we humans cannot live without the sun, because of it is in just the right and stable state. It's feeding us. In daily life, the many elements required. But here's what's interesting. That doesn't mean light. The relative quantity can be slightly less, because once the quantity is small, deposit, the force between the proton and the neutron decreases. Weak therefore, without enough force to combine the two. Stars cannot coalesce through nuclei, change to create richer elements. So in the end, it is impossible to create a diverse life element. Vegetarian therefore, carbon machine creatures like us. Naturally it will not be born. Then we turn to the second wonder of the universe. Attractive force. For example, if the attractive force of a celestial body, if it's a little bigger, what are the consequences? Well, if that's the case, stars naturally heat up too fast. With accelerated combustion, maybe life hasn't had time to be born yet. This star, it has already ushered in its own end. So let's zoom out a little bit. If it is between galaxies and galaxies, with an increased attractive force, will cause collisions between galaxies. And this situation also includes all celestial bodies in the galaxy. So if so, the universe will last forever, continuing to collide with disasters. The opposite. What if the attractive force of the celestial body is slightly smaller? Stars will not be able to condense. Therefore, it cannot be produced. The tremendous temperature required for a nuclear fusion. So in the absence of fusion, and then the stars would cease to emit light and heat. So the planets orbiting him, also in extremely cold environments, frozen powder. Let's look at the third cosmic miracle, cosmic density. What if the universe is dense? The entire universe existed before life was born. Will usher in exploration. On the contrary, if the density is lower, the universe would expand and cool too fast. Finally, all activities and reactions in the universe gradually cease, enter an almost completely static and dead mark state. Let's look at the fourth wonder of the universe. An even distribution of suits in the thin background of the universe. So what if he were older? Matter will condense together in advance, forming a massive supergalactic structure. So within this huge group, stars of all sizes will come together under mutually attractive forces. So it would have been impossible to form the current planetary system, but not if it's smaller. Because then, the matter in this universe will become extremely uniform, form a dark world. Therefore, between the gas and dust in the universe can never be united. Formation of galaxies and other celestial bodies. Then we turn to the fifth wonder of the universe. The proton is in the structure of the atom. The mass of this proton is as if by some force. It's the same as set in advance. Because protons are slightly smaller than neutrons, it is also because of the difference in quality. Neutrons don't become protons until they decay. So if these two, if it is not deliberately arranged by some force, the mass of the proton only needs to be slightly heavier by 1%. Protons decay into neutrons. What if all of this were reversed? All the nuclei will be there. Very unstable state. It breaks apart, so the atoms fall apart. So life, it couldn't have been born in this upside-down situation. So you want to make stable DNA and produce words of life. The proton has to be extraordinarily stable, exist for at least a few 100 million years, because that way you won't fall too early. become anti-electronic, according to current experiments with protons. Stable lifetime of protons, but far beyond our human imagination. Even scientists believe that his lifespan is longer than the lifespan of the entire universe, much longer. Then we turn to the sixth wonder of the universe, lambda, that determines the acceleration of the universe. If lambda's value is greater than O, the anti-attractive forces in the universe will increase. In this case, the entire universe will be decayed by attractive forces, accelerated outward expansion. Finally, in this expanding state, the entire universe will form a great freeze. So take advantage of the situation. The universe will enter a dead environment. There are no conditions at all for life to be born. The opposite. If the lambda resin scales, then the attractive force will be weak. With an absolute attractive force, the entire universe would contract violently and finally form the same as the original starting point of the universe. There was another Big Bang. Therefore, all life contained within it, before they had time to develop or be born, the universe itself was reborn first. So, everyone over here, and you know what? It is because of the 6 wonders described above, we are able to exist and survive stably. So if at first, in these miracles, if there is a slight change, maybe today I won't get together to watch this video anymore. So the author is here to see you, including the authors. It's all a miraculous existence. Therefore, we should treat our daily life well. Don't question yourself because of setbacks. Look down on yourself. So let's go back to the main content. As mentioned above, we are a series of miracles in the universe, born under. Therefore, in these miracles, a planet capable of nurturing intelligent life, it is also the most significant of these miracles. A special miracle. This is not just because of our planet, located in the base belt of the solar system, because like planets in the habitable zone, in this vast and infinite universe, it can be described as a lot of hair. But on the quality of Tao, the Earth is one of a kind. Think about it. If the Earth were smaller, his attractive force naturally weakens. Therefore, if on this basis, he can't keep our head, atmosphere at the top, what if it was a little bigger? No, because of that, more harmful gases will be retained. Therefore, under the premise of this appropriate benefit, the Earth is in the solar system. Did you notice? Except for Pluto nature, all the planets here orbit. They all operate in an almost circular state. That's the benefit. Between planets won't have too much impact. Instead, it is conducive to the continuation of life, because in this operating state, we were able to interact with Jupiter and Saturn, maintain a safe distance. Otherwise, under the conditions of huge attractive forces of the two, it is impossible for our planet to give birth to life. The conditions for the birth of life is a stability that requires at least hundreds of millions of years in environmental time, something that is likely to happen. So the Earth alone, it's not going to happen. Among these credits, it also includes the Moon is indispensable to our daily lives. Although from a satellite perspective, the Moon, the satellite of the Earth, it doesn't make any sense, but also because it's the right size to allow the rotation of our entire planet. Speed stabilizes, and the tidal action that the Moon brings to the Earth. All this for the Earth. It seems to be deliberately arranged. In addition to that, and then there's the planet king, Jupiter. Jupiter's role in the solar system. It's like a solid crash wall. So because of his attractive force, over billions of years, I don't know how many asteroids have been blocked for us, and comets. So without Jupiter, it is impossible for us humans to continue to this day. The attractive force of the Sun will put all small celestial bodies are drawn into the inner solar system, that is, the periphery of our planet. So an asteroid impact that wiped out the dinosaurs will happen more and more frequently. So like the famous astronomer Carl Sagan, I once said this. The sentence includes the universe itself, and a miracle of miracles, Earth. They are like you aiming at the underworld on Earth, like a mosquito on Kings, and hit it accurately. Therefore, for humans born under miracles, maybe we've already forgotten our life experience. How incredible. So, please don't give up on those bad emotions, because life is full of meaning. That video to the end. Thank you for being here. Find it useful. Share it with those who treat you well. In the end, persistence is not easy. Might as well reward the author with a little love. See you next time.